Actually, I did have a question, which it's not necessarily a very deep and philosophical one, but I was just wondering, okay, I've seen a lot of like biblical movies and stuff, like The Prince of Egypt, Noah's Ark, and the Ten Commandments, and I don't know how many of them you've seen, but in your opinion, which one do you think is the most biblically accurate?
Ooh, that's a very good question.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the Noah's Ark film. You talking about the most recent one, like with
Russell
Yeah,
Crowe.
yeah, the one like 10 years ago or so,
Yeah,
with the
that's the one
with the
I'm gonna
tree
immediately
people.
say. Yeah, I'm gonna immediately say that's not accurate. It even tries to incorporate like Enoch,
Yeah,
the stuff
yeah.
in there into it, and the Jews wouldn't consider that canon or fitting with the story of Noah. But out of all the things you mentioned, at the moment, there is a movie that have seen that's on Netflix that I'm gonna try to watch, called The Gospel of John, where it's literally uh, word for word the Gospel of John, and it's a person that reads it in English
oh,
format, but the actors are speaking in the original languages that they would have spoken.
yeah,
Oh,
Man.
I caught a
wow.
snippet
Yep.
of yeah.
So I'm gonna try to check that out. But at the moment, without having to see that and seeing the biblical stories, I would have to say the one that rings out the most, if we're just talking movies, would be the Son of God movie. And that's because whenever the Bible miniseries came out on, I think it was History Channel, it provided a much more graphic, and because of the fact that it was graphic in instances, it wasn't afraid to cover other stories that would likewise be viewed in graphic. Like, for example, there's an instance where it shows that after Israel gets captured, apparently a king and his kids had tried running away and fleeing from it, but they end up getting uh, captured by their captors. And as a result, what happens is that he then kills his children right in front of his eyes and made him watch, and
Oh,
then the king, then this pagan king that tried to
Oh
take
yeah,
over,
but
then stuck his eyes inside and gouged the man's eyes out
yeah,
before killing him. So it was very graphic and brutal, but they managed to show it, and it shows at least that like, because when you were a kid, you get told the bright stories and all that stuff, and then you realize by the time you actually read the Bible, there's a lot of stuff in there by the time they bring it out in a video
What?
format. But yeah, like Son of God was basically taking the New Testament part, but adding a little bit more clips to it, and then compiling it all together to make a movie out of it. And so it's basically a definitely accurate version of the New Testament in the fact that it not only shows a lot of good stuff, brings a good depiction, but brings a lot more depth and emotion that you can grab into it as well. So out of the ones that I've seen, would be that movie that I would say is the biblically accurate one at the moment.
you talking about the Son of God movie or
Yeah,
the
the son of
Bible
yeah
series?
the Son of God movie, because the Son of God movie was basically the New Testament half of the Bible miniseries.
Right. Which was already in the Bible miniseries, right?
Right, but they decided to add more stuff as well as then just
Oh,
make
okay.
it longer.
Maybe I'll try to watch it.
yeah, and like make it into a movie. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah. So if you
Well,
haven't seen that, I'd recommend it.
no, I haven't seen it, but I'll look into it.
All right.